everyone. You are listening to the Psychopharmacology Institute podcast. I'm Dr. Egdan Rashad, your host for today and for the past 30 episodes for that matter. We are an educational platform that is passionate to help you, the mental health clinician, stay up to date and sharp on the latest in Psychopharm. If you are one of our loyal listeners, welcome back and thank you for your support and encouragement. I love to open my podcast inbox to receive messages from you, fellow psych nerds. Before we get started though, why don't you go to piupdates.com to sign up on our website, earn CMEs, and receive regular Psychopharm Nuggets of joy. PI stands for Psychopharmacology Institute, by the way, so go for it. Today we are going to take a break from psych nerdiness and actually get to meet the humans of Psychopharm Institute. I may be the voice of this podcast, but there are unsung heroes and champions backstage that make all of this possible. I have with me Dr. Flavio Guzman and Dr. Jessica Diaz. I've lured them with a cup of coffee and some muffins to join me today. Well, to be honest with you, we are kind of in different continents, but still, the spirit counts. I'm currently in Toronto, Canada, and they are in the beautiful land of Argentina. Bueno. Oh, and a quick shout out to Pam. No, not Pam from The Office. I am talking about Pamela Gonzalez, our amazing project manager. She actually is recording this session right now, but she's kind of muted, so you guys won't get to hear her voice. Today, at least. Okay, let's take a breather and get started. So first, Flavio Guzman. Flavio is a psychiatrist and the founder of Psychopharmacology Institute. Basically, he is the Don Corleone of our platform, minus the fact that he's a millennial and that he is very passionate about medical education. We chatted a little bit about how PI started, and later in the episode, we will actually talk about how you can join our team. Let's hand over the mic to Flavio with an obscure question. Why Psychopharm Institute?
Why? Okay, do you want the long answer or the brief one?
You can give us the long story. We don't mind.
The long story? Okay. So this started, I guess, when I was in medical school, which was in 2008, around 11 years ago. And the first website was a pharmacology website called PharmaMotion. Because that website, the only purpose that it had was to show pharmacology animations. For example, the mechanism of action of digoxin. So my mentor back then suggested that I used that website like a newsletter, on different topics in pharmacology. And well, that thing grew. Then I renamed it to Pharmacology Corner. I was managing Pharmacology Corner in first year of residency, psychiatry residency. And it was sort of natural that this pharmacology thing started to switch a little bit into CNS, central nervous system, And then, well, it naturally morphed into a psychopharmacology platform. And the question of why, I guess it's a nerd answer, this one, because I just liked it. I used it as a tool for me to learn. They say that the best way to learn something is to explain it. I enjoyed teaching during my years as a teaching assistant and then junior faculty at my local university here. Also, I really enjoyed and still enjoy technology. So it was like a natural drive for me to combine these two passions, which is teaching and using technology.
So basically, you brought all your passions together in one melting pot and gave birth to this platform after multiple tries. It kind of reminds me of how Khan Academy started. Like one guy with an idea and a passion, and boom, some years later, it's a massive educational platform. Our platform isn't massive yet, but we are certainly on a roller coaster that only goes up. So, Flavio, the actual domain name of Psychopharmacology Institute was established in 2011. What happened back then? How did you kick off?
I had this materials on antipsychotics, right? So that eventually became an online course with 3 hours of credit. And it was a total failure. That's something I wanted to tell people about, because it gives some optimism. The story behind it is that there was a big following interested in pharmacology, right? So I assumed all these thousands of people that were subscribed to the newsletter will really love an antipsychotics course. I don't know why I thought that, maybe because I needed that. So I said, let's create a course and launch it. So the thing that happened and the reason why I think it was a failure is because there was this audience mismatch. So there were not mental health clinicians. There were people who were into pharmacology, general pharmacology. And someone emailed me and told me, look, why should I take a course 3 hours on antipsychotics? That is too deep for me. So to me, that was a bit discouraging because it was the first product that I launched.
Boom.
So a couple of years later, a member of the audience said, hey, I like these presentations. I need some of them. Can you sell them? Well, how can you do that? And back then there was a trend going on membership sites. So that person was our first premium member. And that's how the first premium membership was created. It's basically getting access to materials that I personally created. So as you can see, this was a one-person show. This was in 2014, I think. And then the next phase in growth came when people like Pam, Victoria, who's in customer support, started helping with the production, post-production, management, and all of that. So that was also, I think, 2016. And now I would say the last 2 years have been of consolidation in terms of us now having a more stable team, both in the content side and in the pre and post-production development. So we are more mature now.
I get the notion that PI was shaped largely by audience feedback. Like you were kind of open to audience suggesting things to you. When they told you something worked or didn't work, there was some sort of openness to consider it. Like, hey, yeah, we can try this. Personally, I remember how I first approached Psychopharm Institute. I was still a first-year psych resident, a couple of months into residency, actually. And I emailed you and I said, hey, I like your content. I guess I can contribute to making it a little better by perhaps podcasting or some audio stuff. And you were like, yeah, okay, sure. Welcome aboard. And here we are.
Yeah, about that. One thing I really like is that most people came from the audience. Most of our collaborators and the core team, those that meet more often, it's grew like organically. So yeah, you're right. I think the theme is the audience connection. And by saying audience, it sounds like artificial. It's human to human connection, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so after the break, we will chat with the right arm of Psychopharmacology Institute, Dr. Jessica Diaz. So if I'm the voice of PI, Jessica is the face. You may have seen her already on our PI promo videos, giving you nuggets of Psychopharm joy. Do check out our videos on Twitter and Facebook if you haven't already. Jessica is also a clinical psychiatrist and the leader of our Spanish translation platform. You may not know this, but actually most of our content is translated in Spanish. Okay, I'm going to be brave and attempt to say Psychopharmacology Institute in Spanish.
Go ahead, butcher it. No problem.
Okay, here goes. Here goes nothing. Instituto de Farmacología. Sí. All right.
Instituto de Psychopharmacologia.
Can you say it again? Sorry, the voices.
Instituto de Psychopharmacologia.
Oh, beautiful. Thanks, Jessica. Now, tell us a little bit about what you like about working with PI.
Wow. I enjoy lots of things. I enjoy looking for faculty. I enjoy editing the content. I enjoy thinking up of new topics. I enjoy the interaction with you, Wegden, with Flavio, with Pam, with the rest of the team. Like Flavio said before, it's a team effort, and that's very satisfying. Because when you're in a team, somebody will have an idea, then you will say, hey, yeah, I didn't think of that. Why don't we do this or why don't we do that? So ideas just get like better and better. And about what I do, well, like I said, I think I do a little bit of everything. I help in searching for faculty. I edit quick takes. I create the MCQs. I help with the storyboards. I also help out with Psychopharmacology Institute in Spanish.
Yeah, I can definitely chime in there with things that I really enjoy about Psychopharm Institute is the cohesion that we have. Like, we are in different continents, but despite that, we work together. We communicate like a family. Honestly, I consider PI like a second family to me. I mean, we've got this very human-centered working and managing style. Like, I think Carl Rogers would be proud. Enough fluff. You're probably wondering, other than this podcast, what else does PI offer, eh? We have video lectures, which are basically video lectures. Topics like MAOIs, catatonia, Parkinsonism, and designer drugs. We also have the quick takes, which I featured recently on the podcast. It's hosted by Dr. Jim Phelps, and I love the idea of this podcast in the sense that it really gets to where our weak spot is, and that is reading papers and extracting clinically relevant information from research. So Dr. Jim Phelps basically reads it, digests it, and shares it with us in a way that we can actually apply it. Flavio, could you share with me other things that PI does?
And we have also the expert consultations. We started this as a follow-up, asking the real questions, following up on the lecture, the real world questions that most clinicians may have about, let's say I present something on the efficacy of the latest medication. Okay, but you as a clinician, probably you want to know, should I use this drug? How should I use it? When should I use it? So that's the spirit behind the expert consultations. And there we have Dana Wang. She's a psychiatrist from New York. She's an outpatient psychiatrist. And we have Mohan Gautam. Sorry, Mohan, I'm butchering your last name. And he's a psychiatry resident in Detroit, Michigan.
Yes, so quick takes and expert consultations are CME podcasts that I highly recommend you check out. And of course, we have our open and friendly podcast, the one you're listening to right now. And in it, I feature snippets from our video lectures in an attempt to entice you. Just kidding. Its goal is basically to make Psychopharm accessible and applicable to you. We can never get enough encouragement. And let me tell you, we read every single message you send to us.
I just want to say that sometimes we share between us those messages for encouragement.
Yes, we do. We have a little group and we put the encouraging messages and sit and cheer and share emojis of champagne bottles and beer clinking glasses. So yeah, we definitely celebrate the positive and encouraging messages that we get from our listeners and our viewers, which is fantastic. Next up, I grill my interviewees on what it takes to join the PI team and how you can join in. So here's the moment you've been waiting for. What does it take to join our team?
So I would say that I encourage people that identify themselves as enjoying creative work and being detail-oriented, and mostly that they identify themselves as educators, that they really like to teach. Those we feel that are like the most natural fit for what we do. So yeah, we work remotely. So anyone from anywhere, literally, is welcome to send us an email to support@psychopharmacologyinstitute.com to see if they have ideas for us and how they can contribute to our team.
So there you go, dear listeners, an open invitation for anyone all over the world. If you're interested in education, if you have a creative streak, if you have something to contribute to Psychopharmacology Institute, please reach out to us. We'd be very happy to hear from you. We're always willing to have new people on board. So reach out to us at support@psychopharmacologyinstitute.com. So another exciting prospect with PI is that it has sprouted a little sister platform called PA, Psychotherapy Academy. So what's the deal with PA?
Well, as we all know, some psychiatrists and other kind of professionals are interested in psychotherapy. And I think this platform is interesting in the sense that we are focusing on third wave psychotherapies. And I see it as kind of a niche that may be underserved for specific information, clinically applicable information or clinically applicable techniques that can be used by therapists or clinicians who want to know a bit more about how to do psychotherapy. In some countries, it is normal that the psychiatrist not only handles the medication, but also does some kind of therapy. Psychiatrists in some countries are not considered like complete if you only do the medication part. So I think that's, an interesting way of looking at things.
Right. And as you pointed out, Wegdan, we are mostly in audience listening mode right now with PA, right? With Psychotherapy Academy. We understand that it's not just copy and paste formats from Psychopharmacology Institute. With psychotherapy, if you want to do something meaningful in terms of educational experience, well, you need time to develop an idea, to make a point. We're trying to figure out how to be concise, but not like just spitting out facts. Help clinicians acquire techniques online, which is a challenge, right? We're experimenting with some formats. I'm not going to reveal anything for now, but we are something that it's more procedural, so to speak, the how to. So that's the branch that we are excited about.
Okay, so if I was to visit psychotherapyacademy.org right now, what kind of things would I expect to see on the website at the moment?
Well, right now we have a course on the essentials of DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy, which is a therapy that is a first-line treatment for borderline personality disorder. And we have in the works an ACT course, an acceptance and commitment therapy course. And we have this new format that we are thinking about showing clinical scenarios on DBT.
That sounds actually pretty interesting. I'd encourage our listeners to check it out. If you are curious and you practice psychotherapy, I highly recommend checking it out, psychotherapyacademy.org. Also, I hosted a couple of podcasts, one on radically open DBT and another on complex PTSD. Let's round up. It's been great talking and getting to know you guys. And for our listeners, to hear more about us as human beings and not robots. As we come together in this wonderful occasion, why don't we sit around the fire and roast some Psychopharm marshmallows? What I'm trying to say is, let's share some Psychopharm facts that we have.
Okay, I'm going to take a key point. I have in front of me a presentation by Dr. Greg Pontone on the psychopharmacology of Parkinson's disease. And the key point is that to avoid worsening the symptoms of Parkinson's disease, the motor symptoms, if you need to use antipsychotics, only 3 antipsychotics are recommended: clozapine, quetiapine, and recently approved pimavanserin. So that's my key point.
Okay, so my key point is about lithium. You can use it in all ages. So from the lecture given by Dr. Othman Mohammed, I got the fact that you can use lithium in children and adolescents. You just have to monitor for side effects and serum levels carefully. And from Martha Sajatovich's lecture about older age bipolar disorder, I got the information that you can also use lithium for older adults, also being careful to monitor serum levels and side effects. So basically, clinicians don't need to be afraid to use lithium. From these 2 presentations, tell us that we can use lithium in children and in older adults. And of course, we all know we can use them in general adults.
And my key point is from Dr. Jonathan Meyer's lecture on the modern use of monoamine oxidase inhibitors. And it's quite an interesting one because I don't really have much confidence in using MAOIs. This lecture has really given me a sort of foundation on how to use it. So here's my key point. Medications that pose a risk for serotonin syndrome must be stopped for 5 half-lives before starting an MAOI. For vortioxetine, this translates to 14 days, and for fluoxetine, this may be as long as 10 weeks. So let's keep that in mind if we're going to use an MAOI. And that's about it for today's podcast. I hope you guys had a good time with us. We really enjoyed being here. Thank you guys for this wonderful interview. And if you have feedback or questions or Christmas gifts that you want to send us, we'd love to hear from you. Contact us at podcast@psychopharmacologyinstitute.com. Next episode, we'll return to our normal Psychopharm workouts, so brace yourself for that. See you then! The following people participated in this episode: Dr. Flavio Guzman, Dr. Jessica Diaz, Pablo Gonzalez, and Andy Rode, our magical audio engineer, and myself, Wegdan Rashad, as the host. Thank you for joining us in today's podcast. Until the next episode, goodbye.